White House says talks with Iran are still on course, even as two incidents in the West Asia waters threaten to derail the planned meeting. A U.S. fighter jet shot down an Iranian drone flying near the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln, while Iranian forces attempted to detain a U.S.-flagged tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. The U.S. Central Command said that F-35C fighter jet shot down an Iranian Shahed-139 drone after it flew aggressively towards the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea.
Before the sun burned away the haze above the Arabian Sea, a U.S. Navy carrier strike group cut its unmarked path through contested waters. On the flight deck of the USS Abraham Lincoln, the morning routine felt illusory. Jets lined up beneath watchful eyes, sailors winding through pre-dawn checks, the air thick with attention familiar to anyone who's worked in the margins of American security operations. That tension, on February 3rd, would crystallize into a scenario no one could call routine. Over open water, as most threats remained abstract, radar screens blinked with a new target, an Iranian Shahed-139 drone. Its intent was unclear, but its trajectory pointed directly toward the carrier. The incident that unfolded ricocheted through classified briefings and public headlines alike. A Marine F-35C Lightning II, positioned at the intersection of protocol and adrenaline, responded in moments. The threat, once a speculative blip on the screen, became a tangible object, intercepted and destroyed. Pentagon officials described the move as self-defense, a phrase seasoned with historical weight and operational implication. USNI News confirmed the shootdown, and defense analysts dissected the encounter. A next-generation fighter eliminating a persistent rival's remote-controlled tool, all in the span of a few heartbeats. But beyond official statements and the binary outcome of target acquired and target down, a far larger story spins out across the region's skies. What secret calculus led to that decision? How does an incident like this, tracked in real time by satellites, naval commanders, and decision-makers half a world away, expose weaknesses or strengths in the choreography of power projection? Perhaps most pressingly, what does it mean when a $100 million aircraft must intercept a drone of unclear intent in international airspace? Beneath each headline lies a deeper question about rules of engagement, the shifting line between provocation, deterrence, and open conflict. Which boundaries, invisible but consequential, were crossed in those moments above the sea? In an era where machines watch, wait, and strike, where does human decision fit? The morning of February 3rd did not begin with alarms. At first light, the Arabian Sea lay flat and serene, yet patterns shifted beneath the surface calm. The broader region has long been a canvas for rivalries playing out under the tightest controls, just short of armed confrontation. Here, U.S. strike groups, equipped with powerful sensors, satellites, and a lattice of missile defenses, patrol a corridor that is as much about managing perceptions as it is about projecting force. The USS Abraham Lincoln, a floating city of steel and intent, moved as a tangible message of deterrence, reach, and operational certainty. But certainty slips quickly when intent is masked. The Shahed-139 drone appeared on screens as a shadow, by known configuration, not a kamikaze drone, but a modular platform able to carry different payloads. It launched from an unspecified point, a feature consistent with IRGC tactics, indirect methods, plausible deniability, the dull edge of gray zone warfare. As the drone tracked closer, officers aboard the carrier calculated angles, speeds, and impact zones. Every carrier, from the keel up, is designed for layers of defense, phalanx guns, countermeasures, electronic jammers. But doctrine dictates measured escalation, not premature force. What's most often misunderstood is the slim margin for reaction. Space compresses at the speed of jets and drones. Seconds separate a routine patrol from an international incident. The Pentagon's official account, echoed by trusted outlets like USNI News, is plain. An F-35C fighter jet from Abraham Lincoln shot down the Iranian drone in self-defense and to protect the aircraft carrier and personnel. The phrase unclear intent is central to the ambiguity. Why intercept a drone whose weapons status was uncertain? In these tense corridors, reaction cannot hinge solely on stated intentions. The science, rooted in radar signatures, proximity alerts, and classified threat assessments, demands that trajectory trumps ambiguity. Anything entering a specified envelope triggers a series of responses. At a certain threshold, the pilot must act before receiving definitive data, before a possible warhead is confirmed. The calculus of risk leaves little room for hesitation. The confirmed result, as reported, was decisive. Over the water, the Shahed-139 shifted from risk to debris. The incident was logged, analyzed for lessons, and referenced by global audiences drawn to its significance. What calculus justifies overwhelming force in response to uncertainty? Is deterrence now as much about demonstrating technological willingness as about actual defense? If you found this deep dive illuminating, consider subscribing and hit the bell to stay ahead of the headlines. The next chapter is just getting started. For decades, superpowers have navigated the gray area between overt hostility and routine patrol. The skies above the Arabian Sea serve as proving grounds and political tripwires. US carriers here carry heavy obligations, maintain presence, demonstrate resolve, and respond forcefully if required, but always with discipline, and always with an eye to tomorrow's consequences. When the Shahed-139 entered the carrier's operating envelope, that calculus came alive. The drone's approach was aggressive enough for the Pentagon to call it aggressively approached, a rare phrase in the typically neutral language of military communiques. The science behind such alerts is exacting. Advanced sensors measure trajectory, speed, movement patterns, comparing every reading with a classified database of threats based on prior incidents. Within the battle group's Combat Information Center, tension sharpened as variables were weighed. USNI News and Navy sources confirmed this was not a wayward civilian drone. While not configured as a kamikaze, the Shahed-139 is modular and could theoretically carry sensors or munitions. In a region marked by previous harassment and sabotage, unclear intent leaves too much to luck. A single error could spark crisis. How did the decision unfold? As the drone approached a red line, the rules of engagement mandated a clear show of force. The F-35C Lightning II, a machine built for both combat and intelligence tasks, was scrambled. The message, "Come no closer." But the drone pressed on. Events accelerated. Combat systems relayed positioning. IFF codes were silent. Confirmation came of a military-grade Iranian asset. The pilot, following strict command authority, acted. Elsewhere, command centers tracked the updates. The encounter, a multi-million-dollar fighter neutralizing a much cheaper drone, might initially appear a mismatch. But this is a reality of modern air defense. Inexpensive drones can threaten billion-dollar vessels and hundreds of lives, with nuclear-level consequences. In this case, there was no further escalation, but the message sent reverberated widely. The meaning of such action is clear. Capability and willingness must be demonstrated in real time, yet an important question lingers. Why have these confrontations become so frequent, and who benefits from the ambiguity that now dominates such encounters? The case of the Shahed-139 fits into a series of recurring tensions between the US Navy and Iranian forces. This particular incident reached headlines because of the directness of the shootdown. Most similar encounters are resolved in ambiguity. Such ambiguity, in fact, serves both sides, allowing deterrence without provoking all-out war. A closer look clarifies the stakes. According to Pentagon and USNI news reports, the Shahed-139 is not a suicide drone, but its design allows for quick reconfiguration. Military planners must assume worst-case possibilities in real time, aware that overestimating is preferable to late discovery. The margin for safety in these scenarios is often a matter of seconds, a cycle of radar, software analysis, human judgment, and action. Here, the F-35C served as both shield and message. Its successful engagement affirmed the Navy's intent: protect critical assets, meet ambiguous threats with decisive force. But each incident becomes a learning moment. Every drone intercepted is logged, the protocol tweaked, and the adversary's next move anticipated. Both US and Iranian planners adapt, experimenting in a cycle steered by these encounters. The full aftermath remains largely classified, but the process is constant. Sensors recalibrated, patrols rerouted, doctrine reviewed. Each side seeks advantage in the margins of the next encounter, a contest defined by adaptation and response. Meanwhile, in policy circles and command centers, every close call is a test. How quickly could an unthinkable escalation occur? For outside observers, the interception of a drone can appear as a fleeting news item. In defense circles, however, each episode represents a critical data point in the evolving equation of deterrence and technological response. Consider the science. Sensors aboard the Abraham Lincoln and its escort ships combine radar, optics, and electronic feeds into a complex picture. Unidentified objects prompt rapid classification. Algorithms separate civilian signatures from silence. Changes in altitude, speed, or vector amplify the threat assessment. In this case, the drone's approach activated the full system. Scenario analysis, familiar to defense planners, outlined several possible outcomes, none of which permitted indecision. Why rely on kinetic interception rather than jamming or lasers? The answer is pragmatic. Unknown intent plus proximity to key assets equals response. Advanced technology does not eliminate the value of a fast, definitive military response when seconds count. This dynamic has a paradoxical impact. As detection windows shorten and interception capacity grows, opposition must either push closer or innovate further, driving a cycle of adaptation. On February 3rd, the response was swift and effective. Yet the incident exposes the limits of technological assurance. Systems are only as reliable as the risk calculations behind them. So, can automation ever fully replace human judgment? Or are these incidents reminders that in high-speed, high-stakes environments, the human factor is indispensable? The shootdown of the Shahed-139 signaled U.S. readiness to act. Within hours, official statements cast the action in terms of self-defense. In this context, self-defense blends deterrence, clarity, and consequence. The impact, in measurable terms, the threat was eliminated, the carrier remained unscathed, and American forces recorded no injuries. Yet the consequence rippled beyond the immediate facts. Every decisive move by the U.S. Navy becomes a signal, not only to adversaries, but also to observers weighing regional stability. For adversaries, the challenge is calculating the response. Was the probe worth the loss, or simply a costly data point in an ongoing contest? For American planners, there is the ongoing task of adapting doctrine to evolving threats. This is where science and uncertainty merge. Previous drone encounters, catalogued in detailed military records, inform current responses and anticipate future tactics. Actions outside these models, such as rapid shootdowns without elaborate warnings, shift expectations and strategies. The psychological dimension is as significant as the tactical one. For each crew member and commander, a successful interception is both validation and a reminder of the unpredictability of tomorrow's threat. The next unknown object could be much more dangerous. Are we seeing a sustainable deterrent posture or a cycle that only incentivizes ever riskier provocations? What do incidents like this actually mean? Strip away the layers, and the core impact of the February 3rd intercept is measured not merely in lost platforms, but in strategic posture. For the US, the event reinforces freedom of navigation operations and highlights the persistent threat environment at sea. For Iran, the response is a demonstration of American resolve and capability, but also a cue for continued adaptation. The modular Shahed-139 shows a preference for tools that balance deniability and effectiveness, a logical move in contemporary regional dynamics. Drones provide the IRGC with low-cost, deniable means of probing and learning about American response protocols. Each incident becomes part of a data-driven cycle of measure and countermeasure. The immediate result is an ongoing adjustment of patrol routes, engagement rules, and sensor configurations. Every missile fired shapes both sides' future plans. Editorially, the question is not just what happened, but where this path leads. Technology enables rapid reaction, but the cycle of probe and response creates instability fueled by ambiguity. Does the event demonstrate American air dominance, or does it reveal a cycle of escalation defined by adaptation and risk? Despite the technological sophistication, integrated sensors, AI-aided tracking, fast response protocols, the final moments of decision are still deeply human. The F-35C, fed with scenario data and threat matrices, was ultimately operated by a pilot faced with seconds to turn ambiguity into action. Military researchers and risk analysts consistently highlight a principle: decision-making under pressure remains an inescapably human challenge. Real-time stress, responsibility, and training play a decisive part, even as automation improves. The Shahed-139 incident reaffirms this paradigm. The system functioned, procedures were followed, but every engagement reshapes future thinking, adjusting everything from distances for engagement to interlocks between ship and aircraft. Technology shapes the playbook, but people define the execution. No matter how advanced defenses become, the need for trained, adaptable operators persists. Combat's fog means the final choice, act or wait, still belongs to human hands. This incident, logged and analyzed by the Pentagon, USNI News, and global defense observers, will inform future doctrine. Its meaning lies not just in the action, but in boundaries remarked and reinterpreted. The Arabian Sea's airspace is more than a vector for platforms. It's where doctrine and deterrence are tested in sequence, each engagement an addition to an evolving record. But there is an unintended effect. As technologies refine defensive responses for speed and reliability, the margin for error, or even dialogue, shrinks. The same systems that make defense effective can also make escalation more likely. Carrier strike groups, often seen as instruments of raw power, thus present a paradox: deterrence achieved by relentless vigilance, but also by accepting new risks through perpetual readiness. The essential question: in a world of instant reactions, how much room remains for communication and de-escalation? Scientific models say very little. Systems designed for speed may struggle with ambiguity. Every incident becomes both a precedent and a lesson. But the core priorities, protecting the force, projecting conviction, and limiting escalation, stay as complex as ever. And so the F-35C resumes its orbit, another sortie entered in the log, another lesson feeding tomorrow's defense evolution. On that February morning, as the Shahed-139 was erased from the sky, clear meaning emerged for the community of operators, analysts, and strategists. The science and policy behind contemporary air defense are fundamentally about shaping order from uncertainty. But every act of certainty carries balancing risks. Rapid defense may preclude dialogue, continual vigilance strains resources, and the habit of escalation may breed new hazards. For those aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln, the episode was confirmation of training and doctrine. For those charting the evolution of regional military balance, it is a marker, a warning, a precedent, an opportunity for revision. In strategic terms, the risk persists. At what point does interception become routine, and at what cost to readiness or stability? Data and doctrine yield insight, but the pressure at the tactical edge is relentless. As technology narrows the margin for ambiguity, the world's militaries must consider not only how to act, but whether the path they're on will preserve stability or chase it away. The unfolding answers are clouded, taken up in every after-action briefing, written into process changes, and worried over in planning rooms on both sides. The skies above the Arabian Sea, far from quieting, now echo with the paradoxes of certainty, a contest played in the vapor trails of jet, the returns of radar, and the unending calculus of risk. Stay connected. Subscribe for future analysis as this contest in science, policy, and intent evolves. Your questions and insights shape the conversation. The story, like the seas where it began, is far from complete.